Well, after our major severe weather event earlier on this week, what does the future have in store weather-wise? How about this cold air? When does that stick around? We're going to discuss in this video on Severe Weather Now. Hi there, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Severe Weather Now. We've been tracking showers and thunderstorms over the last few days that have been obviously on the severe side. Things have quieted down after that active Easter outbreak that we had. And we're going to talk about a couple things. We've got some snow across the central portion of the country over the next few days, and we've got cool air in place. How long does that last? We'll discuss all that here in this update. Make sure you hit subscribe. We are new to the world of YouTube. I hope you enjoy our coverage over the weekend, trying to keep people safe. So make sure if you are into severe weather that you support us by hitting subscribe. Also the bell notification for updates as we do go live during severe weather events. All right, let's get to the weather across the country. Let's take a big picture look at the country in terms of what's going to happen over the next 10 days. Right now we've been dealing with, at least the course of the daytime, some gusty snow showers across areas of the Great Lakes. We've also had some showers and thunderstorms down towards Florida. That's the tail end of the system that caused all the severe weather, which is way up in Canada right now. But it kind of stalled out, as fronts often do, down towards the south. And then out towards the west, we've got another system producing quite a bit of snow for areas of the Intermountain West, including the Rockies. In Denver, you were in the teens this morning, expecting more snowfall. That's pretty typical for you this time of year, as this is your snowy time in the spring across many of the Rocky Mountain states. All right, let's go through time here. We're now talking tomorrow afternoon. Quick system zips through the Great Lakes with some light snow. Shouldn't cause much in terms of accumulations. You look down towards the southeastern United States, still seeing showers and thunderstorms. Areas of southeastern Georgia, much of the Florida Panhandle towards Jacksonville. You saw some severe weather today. More storms in the forecast tomorrow. And look at that area of snow diving out of areas of Montana into Wyoming, Colorado. We're expecting feet of snow in spots in the Colorado Rockies, areas just west of Denver, up towards Grand Lake, Estes Park, perhaps 1 to 1.5 feet of snow from this one as that dives south. That energy will form the storm system out in the plains. And look at that little strip of snow that develops on it. That's going to be some heavy wet snow stretching from areas of Missouri, getting into Illinois and Indiana eventually as well, stretching into Ohio. It'll be rain on the south side, but that's how cold we are across the northern tier of the United States to produce that snow across that area. That zips off to the east pretty quickly. No severe weather expected with this, but you can see how all that energy kind of stalls out in the southeastern United States. We get a little return flow as we get on into the weekend. That will bring more not much needed rain across Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi Valley this weekend. Again, not expecting a severe threat from that. Meanwhile, we quiet down out west. Another little blast of some cooler air heads in here to start next week while the southeast remains rainy. And then as we go through time, we're eventually going to start to warm things up. This is the middle half of next week now, and this will be our next system to watch. It'll be an area low pressure that develops somewhere in the Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas vicinity. Again, this is 7 days out, so models aren't always perfect on this, but they do have pretty good consensus that we'll see an area low pressure, and this may be our next focus in terms of severe threat for areas of the central and southern plain states, and then again stretching into the southeast. This doesn't look like the powerhouse system we just had over the last couple days, but still, you have to keep an eye on all systems this time of year as they bear watching with that heat and humidity that we have present coming out of the Gulf. Let's talk snowfall over the next couple days across areas of the Midwest. This is the latest Euro model run, and you can see this is that Friday system. This is Thursday night into Friday. Areas of snow from Missouri, perhaps into Illinois, Indiana. It's a pretty sure bet we're going to have accumulating snow. I think the big question is how much do we actually get out of that? Models indicating anywhere from 2, 4, 5, even a couple 6-inch bullseyes with that. But keep in mind, this is a springtime snow. It's not always pretty. Sometimes it mixes with some gloppy rain. If we get any amount of sunshine before or after the event, most all of it melts. I don't think that'll be the case with this. I do think we get some accumulating snow because the snowfall rates will be pretty heavy with this. Where exactly that goes is still in question, but we could be dealing with some slushy accumulations stretching from areas of northern Missouri, southern Iowa, into Illinois, Indiana, and then eventually Ohio, and then that'll kind of interact on the East Coast, and you can see some of the bullseyes there just east of Pittsburgh as you get into Appalachians and areas of Pennsylvania. So we're not done with winter yet, are we? Boy, I kind of wish we were. I know a lot of us do. but it's still April and this still happens. Okay, final thing I want to talk about in this video is the upper airflow. If this were the middle of winter, this air mass that's coming in from the North Pole would be much, much colder, obviously, but this would be some very cold temperatures, likely well below zero across a big portion of the upper Midwest. Thankfully, we're in April. It's not the middle of winter, but this is a lobe of the polar vortex that has rotated down to the south, so it's certainly bearable, but yeah, it's below average, some 15 to 20 degrees in spots. But where does this go from here? So here we are today, Wednesday, Thursday, still kind of hanging out. You can see how we remain with that cold air in place across the northern tier of the United States. Southern U.S. warms up though. We get more of a west-southwest flow for you, so that will get rid of this cool air and we'll start to moderate temperatures. We're now into the weekend. You see how that lobe's still hanging out across the northern Great Lakes. That will keep you cool. Meanwhile, the west is warming up quite nicely as a ridge takes hold. And then eventually next week, a pattern change occurs where we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, this is becoming fantasy land in the forecast world, but it does look like things becoming a lot more zonal. So they'll go from west to east. We'll kind of push that cold air back up into Canada, and eventually we should warm things up all the way up into the northern tier of the U.S. with a pretty decent warm spell expected as far north as Minnesota, believe it or not. So we may have a leaf out or some of those leaves coming out in the trees even into the Chicago, Cleveland, over towards the New York City area by the latter half of next week. All right, thanks for joining us here on Severe Weather Now. We'll keep you updated on the latest weather. Thanks again for checking us out.